fake news, right? Indeed, some of the biggest fake news ever. And that's what some people are saying about the recent attempts on Trump's life. I mean, think about it. 3 weeks ago, an actual gunman ran through security at the Correspondents' Dinner. And the only thing that the President of the United States has done about it since is complain that JD Vance got out of the room faster than he did. And he also used that incident to beg for your money to pay for his ballroom. So if you think that this whole thing smells fishy, well, you're not alone. New polling from NewsGuard, published Monday in the Washington Post and other outlets, showed that about 1 in 4 Americans think that April shooting at the Washington Hilton was staged. Staged. 1 in 3 Democrats, 1 in 8 Republicans, and you see the same basic numbers on that Butler incident, that original July 2024 attempt. And then you put them together, it's essentially 30% of Americans think that at least one of those two were fake. Butler or the Correspondents' Dinner, they think they were staged. Now, I want to be very clear here. I'm generally not your conspiracy guy. I'm not in the conspiracy theory business. And there are facts out there. Cole Allen, the man who charged that Correspondents' Dinner, has been indicted on federal counts. And in Butler, a man named Corey Compatore, a 50-year-old volunteer firefighter, lost his life. Now, are there unanswered questions about both? Absolutely. Is the president oddly disaffected by both of them? Yep. And then you have the ear and the coordinated, allegedly paid post about the ballrooms, the whole thing. It still smells fishy. But that's where I'm going to stop about my leaps in logic. But what I'm more interested in is asking the question, why a third of Americans now look at events involving attempts on the president and think Hollywood was involved? Well, for starters, all you have to do is look at Trump's response to that dinner attack in real time. On stage, his first response in front of cameras was to smirk. And then JD Vance, the vice president, gets pulled off the dais first. Then Trump, in a 60 Minutes interview later on, explained why he did not move as fast. He said he wanted to see what was happening, and I was not making it that easy for him. And I was surrounded by great people, and I probably made them act a little bit more slowly. I said, wait a minute, let me see. Wait a minute. So the leader of the free world, when asked why he didn't follow protocol that the Secret Service literally invented to keep him alive, said, because I was curious. And by the way, this gets really silly, because on Monday night at that Police Week dinner, the same dinner where he called the White House a shithouse, by the way, Trump went on to make fun of JD Vance for getting pulled off the stage first. He mocked him, calling him, quote, a little boy. Because Vance, and these are Trump's words, lifted right out of his chair like a little kid. That's what he said about JD Vance.
And they came out, and within seconds, I saw them take JD by the shoulders and lift him up like he was a little boy. I said, how come they didn't lift me up so fast? They lifted JD, got ripped out of the chair. That was a view of the week.
And if you go back and watch, when Trump got up to leave, that 79-year-old man stumbled, and his own detail had to physically prop him up while he tripped off the stage. And then just a few weeks later, in front of cops, he's going after his 40-year-old vice president for being a little boy. By the way, Vance is taller by an inch and got out of the room faster than Trump. But really, those are the concerns of a man who survived an actual attack a few weeks ago. The thing that he is most focused on isn't security reform, not healing the country, not a sober address to the nation. It's making sure that JD Vance doesn't look more capable than him. It's making sure that he gets his illegal ballroom/bunker/panic room built. So the reason that 30% of Americans are looking at this and going, hey, something's off here, isn't because they're irrational. It's because the man at the center of these events keeps treating an attempt on his life like a reunion of The Apprentice, made for television. And yeah, by the way, that ballroom, Trump's DOJ is now citing the shooting in a lawsuit trying to push that project through. I mean, Trump was, and I keep going back to this because it's genuinely insane, actively fundraising a ballroom while cops were still literally sweeping up shell casings in the hotel lobby. So again, look, here's the thing about conspiracy theories. They are made when there is an obvious gap between what a rational adult would do in a serious moment and what is actually being done, especially by somebody like the president. So when the president responds to a real attempt by making jokes about JD Vance and lobbying for a $400 million, or excuse me, $1 billion party room, Americans get suspicious. So while I don't fully buy into all the conspiracy theories, the suspicion isn't insane. It is a perfectly natural response to a president who treats every single moment of his life like a marketing opportunity for the next Trump-branded grift. The conspiracy here isn't that the shooting was staged. The conspiracy is that this man is more concerned with his ballroom than his own security detail. And I really want to know what you think. Real or fake? Butler, White House Correspondents' Dinner, please leave me a comment. I want to see what you think. And meanwhile, we are going to keep showing you whatever we find. Because if we don't, the next time something like this happens, a serious event happens in a serious moment in this country, half of America is going to look at the most narcissistic president in American history and ask, was that real or was it another ballroom commercial?